Namaste, yogis. My name is Alana Kaivalya, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. I wrote a book, Myths of the Asanas, and profiled a story on the crane. And this relates to our pose, Bakasana. We often think of Bakasana as crow pose, but Baka more correctly translates to crane. And there's a story from the Mahabharata about King Yudhishthira and his brothers as they were walking through the forest. They all got very thirsty, and the brothers arrived one at a time to this lake, and they were warned that if they drank from the lake, they would die. They were so thirsty that it didn't matter, so they went ahead and drank from the lake anyway. When King Yudhishthira came upon his brothers, all four of them were dead. A voice came from the trees and said, "I will revive your brothers if you can answer correctly these questions." The first question was, what is the news of the world? And King Yudhishthira didn't say the wars are happening or strife is occurring or this political leader is doing that. He said actually that the news of the world is that it is all illusory, that it is all just our imagination. And then the crane asked him, what is the greatest tragedy? And all of the things that we think of as tragedies in our lives are not what King Yudhishthira answered. He said instead, the greatest tragedy is actually that we don't understand and know ourselves to be fully present and happy in the moment. And after King Yudhishthira answered successfully the questions that the crane had for him, the crane revealed himself to King Yudhishthira as the god of death. And death, of course, is the root of all of our fears. In the Yoga Sutra, one of the greatest obstacles to yoga, or to feeling the state of yoga all the time, is our fear. And if we extrapolate all fears back to their root, the most fundamental fear is the fear of death. King Yudhishthira had overcome this fear, and this is a powerful lesson for yogis, and we're presented with moments of fear all the time. Crane pose is actually one of those moments. But I have a trick for you to make it easier. Find a yoga block and turn it on its highest setting. Position yourself ready for crane pose so that your hands are in an equilateral triangle to the block. You'll find that if your hands are too close to the block, the trick won't work. So bring your hands back a little bit farther and be brave. People have a challenge with this pose because they're afraid they're going to fall over on their nose. For as long as I've been teaching, I've never seen anybody die from crane pose. But we can overcome our fear if instead of having the floor so far away, we bring the floor to us with a block. So with the hands at an equilateral triangle distance, place your knees on the back of your arms above your elbow joint. Depending on how flexible you are, you can bring your knees up a little bit higher. But all they need to be really for you to balance in this position is just above the elbow. Once you've got your knees fixed there, squeeze them in a little bit so they don't slip. Begin to lean forward and aim your forehead for the block. When your forehead is there, try picking your toes up. When the toes are lifted, raise your head. You can always come back to the block if raising your head for a moment is a little bit scary. But eventually, you can take the block away when your fear has been overcome with confidence and you know you can hold yourself up. So there you go, fun trick for crane pose. Give it a try and learn to overcome your fear just like Yudhishthira did.